So we got a question from our buddy Michael, who would like to use the internet. I don't know if it's videos or whatever the case may be, but some platform online to promote his work. Apparently he's got either some art or some ideas that he's fascinated with. He knows is of great value and would bring value to the lives of other people, but he's afraid to promote himself. He basically feels like he may be being egotistical or self-righteous or self-absorbed by turning, like Elliott Hulse does, the camera on himself and promoting himself. And this is all a manifestation of low self-esteem, and that low self-esteem comes from a culture that conditions you to believe you're not good enough, and how dare you ask for more. This happens in very subtle ways, starting in school, starting in the home, but in school where you're not special, you're not better than anyone else. Don't step out of line, don't speak up, raise your hand, you belong mediocre along with everybody else. Don't dare try to rise above. Even today, there's in physical education classes and many sports programs, there's no winner. You're not even allowed to win. You're not even allowed to promote naturally your superiority in any way, shape, or form. Right? So that's a rant. But anyway, he wants to know, he sees Elliott Hulse doing this and he's like, I respect you, Elliott, but how do you get over that barrier of feeling as if you're stepping on someone's toes or doing something naughty by promoting yourself? Here's the way I look at it. It is not only your right, because that's what you'd like me to say. No, it's your right. Yes, you should be able to do this. It's not just your right. I'm not just going to give you permission to do it. I'm going to tell you that it is your responsibility to promote yourself and to promote your ideas. We live in a day and age where your ability to share ideas, share your art, share your gifts with the world is easier than it's ever been in the entire span of mankind. I mean, just think a few years ago, I live in the United States, a lot of people couldn't even read. I mean, to hell with the fact that there were books, people couldn't even read. Now, and in order to share ideas, you needed to, first of all, we needed an alphabet, then we needed to write this stuff down, then we needed to mass produce books, and then we needed people who could read these friggin' books. And now it's basically flip on a camera, hey, I can talk to the whole world. This video will probably have 10,000 views at some point, right? So how is it that we have this all available to us, but you're sitting on the sidelines too scared to get your message out? Now, that's just the medium through which you're going to share it with people. That's my being enthralled with the technology that we have available to us. But now, here's the thing that you've got to understand. You will positively affect the lives of perhaps thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people with what you do when you put yourself on that pedestal. Now, how dare you not help those people? How dare you not bring joy into the lives of those people? And it doesn't matter what you do. Elliott Hulse answers questions for people so that they, to give them perspective on how they can live their lives. But even if it's your artwork, perhaps you are a sculptor. Now, you may not be literally changing the trajectory of people's lives, but you bring peace and joy, pleasure to the people who can appreciate that art. How dare you put that under a blanket? I think it's written in, Luke. No, I'm not that familiar with the New Testament guys, but I know, in fact, I think it's Paul. Says something to the effect of, nobody lights a candle to put it under the table. You don't light a fucking candle to put it on the table. It illuminates. A candle illuminates. It brings light to and offers its service to everything within its sphere of influence. That's what you do when you put yourself out there. You're like a candle shedding light upon darkness. Now, nobody's going to take that candle and put it under the table. There's a purpose for it. And your purpose, what you've been given, and your ability to share has to be executed. It is your responsibility. You must do this. If you go to your deathbed not giving the world the gift that you've been granted because you were too afraid, then you are going to be miserable. And you're going to have to be reincarnated and try again. Peace.